This is going to be a really quick video showing you how to fix the noise coming from the air conditioning on the 4th gen 4Runner. This has happened to 2 4Runners that I've had, so I feel like it's a pretty common issue. And it's going to be this piece right here. So I have everything apart right now. I'm going to put everything back together, show you how to get to it, kind of by putting it back together. So this piece right here sits on the side of this kind of air conditioning box, whatever you want to call it. And to get to it, you take the glove box out. So it's just clips in right there. And then there might be some kind of like air strut holding it on right there. Usually they come off, so it'll probably already be off. But pop it off if it's not. And then yeah, you unclip it, and then there are 2 kind of like stoppers right there, and you can just kind of work them around, get the glove box out. And then there's this bottom part right here that will be held in by a Phillips head screw. You could also use a 10mm, I believe, and that'll pop out. And then it has a connector in it for, I guess, some kind of traction control module or whatever you want to call it. And then there will be a top part going across here with a little compartment that pulls down like that, and that's held in by 4 Phillips head screws. So it's going to be one right there, one right there, one right there, and one right there. And then this connector will also be attached to it. This is just held in by friction, so you just pull it out and it'll disconnect very easily. And then we have to get the ECU out, so that'll be 2 10mm screws up top, one on the bottom, and those will go, those will be right there and there, nuts rather, and then right there, and a bunch of connectors. Don't worry, they all go to different spots, so you can't mix them up. And then there's a piece right here that has these 2 connectors, and it clips in with 3 clips. You can pretty easily access them with like a needle nose or a pick or whatever you have. And then there will be 1 bracket on the side of the ECU, and it'll be held in with a 10mm. And so you take that off, pull that aside, and then this whole area opens up, and that's where the actuator sits right there. And that's held in with 2 Phillips head screws. It's gonna be 1 on the front, 1 on the back. What I did was I used a very short screwdriver, and you can also use like one of those wrenches, or maybe even a ratchet with a Phillips head bit on it. I just used the Phillips head number 2 bit, and I was able to get all those, or 2 of those screws out. And then that will come out, and you have this piece, and I'll show you how to fix it. All right, now I got that thing opened up. It's held in by a few kind of plastic retainers, as well as on the connector right there, 1 right there. So I think it's 6 in total, or 5 if you just count this as 1. And they break really easily, so just be careful not to break them. And here is the view of it opened up. So you have a really big gear, and then a couple of small gears, and this worm gear right here. And this piece, so I'll show you what happens when you plug it in. So let me plug it in right here, and then hopefully you can see that. And then I'm clicking the button to bring the air in from the outside rather than from the inside. So it's just going to keep spinning forever. It's not going to stop spinning. And then you reverse it, it's going to do that. It'll keep spinning forever until it burns itself out. So we can disconnect that, and you see that this piece right here, I don't know exactly how it works. Perhaps someone could tell me, but basically this is what allows that motor to shut off. And when I opened it up, all of this was covered in a lot of grease, so I don't think it was making a very good contact. It contacts these 3 pieces right here, and I believe something happens where they work their way around the wheel and eventually get to a point where they're able to shut this motor off. And so that's what will allow it to stop spinning. So it actually makes an electrical connection with the face of this gear. And what I did was I cleaned all the grease off of it. And so now when I click the back and forward button, it doesn't make that click clink click clink click clink click clink sound. It has nothing to do with the gears being stripped. These gears are perfectly fine. They're not worn out or anything. So what it is that grease that interrupts that electrical connection. And so by cleaning that off, at least from what I noticed, it was able to solve the problem. So we'll see how that goes in the future. If it messes up, you know, after not a lot of time, but I think this will fix the issue. So I'm gonna put it back together, and I'll show y'all what that looks like. So here's what it looks like assembled. And I don't think there's a wrong way to put this back on. Like, there's no way to misalign these gears unless the teeth aren't meshing together properly. But because of it'll always stop and start in the same spot because of the face of that gear. And so here's it, I guess, opening, and then there is the other way, and boom, it stops. There's no like clink clink click clink click clink noise. It stops right when it's supposed to because it's making that proper electrical connection now. And then you put it on with the you do want to put it on in the same kind of orientation that you took it off. So if it was facing kind of downwards, you want to put it on like that rather than back up. And so it'll go on a bit like that, with the white part facing inwards and the electrical connector facing upwards. And then you can reconnect the screws and put everything back together. Here is the tool that I used to get this mechanism back in place. So you see it allows for a lot of room there, so you can get into tight spaces. And now I can show you what this is actually doing with it connected. So there you go. Now it's pulling air from the outside. Now it's pulling air from the inside. So hopefully that lasts a lot longer, and there's none of that you know, clicking, clunking noise that I was hearing before that you might be experiencing. And if it's the other solenoids that are causing this problem, there's one right here and one right here. I believe one of them is for this whole deal, and then the other one is for the temperature control. So don't quote me on that, but those are also really easy to access with all of this stuff off. And if, you know, if it's causing that problem, or if it's making a lot of noise, try my method first, where you take it apart, clean the grease off, and put it back together. And you actually don't have to reassemble everything entirely. You can just plug the connector in, click the buttons to actuate it, and then see if it actually makes that noise again. And then if it's still doing that, or if there's something that's actually broken on the inside of it, then I guess your best bet is to replace it. But this is definitely the first thing you should try, and it'll save you a lot of money, because these things, especially OEM, are not cheap at all. I believe they're very expensive. And then the aftermarket ones are probably just going to be lower quality. So anyway, let's put this back together. The first thing I did was I went about snapping this back into place. Like I said, it just has those 3 clips, so very easy to put back. Now I've got the ECU reinstalled. So like I said, it's these 2 nuts right here. There's one down below right there. And then there's this bracket that goes on the side. It's held in by a 10mm bolt. Put this on before you put any of the other hardware in, because it'll make it a lot easier to put it on with the ECU just kind of loose and out and about. So but yeah, put the rest of that stuff in once you have that connected, and then now we can complete the very satisfying task of reconnecting all these connectors. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3 over here, 4, 5, and then down here 6 and 7. All right, I imagine that if any of those are unplugged, your car will not start. So make sure you get all of them. Just push them in, listen for the click, double check them, and you should be good. This is where that piece will go. This connector, I can't do it with two hands, but basically it slides into that spot right there, and it'll face this direction with that side facing down. All right, that's what that looks like installed. And this is a V8, so it has a few more connectors than the V6 does. But this kind of box right here, you're gonna take these two connectors and plug it in, and then this one has a clip on the side that'll clip in right here. And it'll look like that with each of those connected, and then that connected right there. And then it's got these three yellow tabs that'll pop in along the bottom, and then it has these foam tabs on the back that'll push in right there and right there. And it'll get screwed in right there, and then there's the side piece that clips in with two clips on the side and gets screwed in right there. And then I'll put the glove box back on and we'll be done. So I'm gonna end the video right here, and if this helped you out, leave it a like, maybe subscribe. I don't know, it's up to you. I'm gonna get out of the heat. Good luck.